The Alpha Omega News Network presents Millennium Update, Church History from a Heavenly Perspective.
Welcome back to another installment of Millennium Update, where 1,000 years are as a day. I'm Gabriel. The angel Michael is on assignment. So joining us in our satellite studio is the Prince of Darkness, the father of all lies, the tempter, the deceiver, the imp, the one, the only, Lucifer. So it's been a while since we talked, I suppose. Right. Well, let's get on with the news, shall we? We have an explosive 500 years to cover, so let's get started, eh, Lucy?
Sure thing, Gabriella. We'll start in the 16th century. In 1507, after nearly being struck by lightning, which I had nothing to do with, German graduate student Martin Luther promised to become a monk. And Luther went on to strike the match, igniting 500 years of gaseous buildup in the Western Church. Luther's reform was effective, but not nearly effective enough for my taste. A few more crumbling cathedrals would have been nice. Before the close of the century, indulgences were canceled by the Roman Church, forever silencing the old saying, "Whenever a coin in the coffer rings, a soul from Lucifer's waiting room springs."
Right. Well, the events sparked by Luther went far beyond his original vision of reforming the Roman Church which raised him. 4 years after his 95 Theses were published, Martin Luther was excommunicated from the Roman Catholic Church at the Diet of Worms. While hidden in Wartburg Castle, Luther began translating the Bible into his mother tongue, making the Word of God more accessible than ever before.
Next, we'll look at a rowdy group that gave Luther, Zwingli, and Calvin a chance to indulge in their dark side. I'm talking about the Anabaptists. Unhappy with the pace of reform in Switzerland, a group led by Jedi Knight Conrad Grebel split with Darth Zwingli in 1525, forming what came to be known as the Anabaptists. This rebel alliance abhorred the practice of infant baptism and held deep suspicions of the Galactic Empire.
Reaction to Anabaptists was strong. In a letter to his wife, Martin Luther sarcastically reported,
Dear Kate, we arrived in Halle today at 8, but did not continue on to Eisleben because a big Anabaptist met us with waves and hunks of ice. She flooded the land and threatened to rebaptize us. We take refreshment and comfort in good Torgau beer and Rhenish wine, waiting to see whether the river will come down. The devil resents us, and he is in the water, so better safe than sorry.
Sounds like there was a flood of support for the Anabaptists.
Hardly. Anabaptists were hunted down and martyred by the hundreds in Protestant and Catholic lands alike. If, as Tertullian stated in the 2nd century, the blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church, then a mighty fortress are these Anabaptists.
I love that hymn.
A mighty fortress is...
And I love that line, "On earth, I have no equal." After a group of unusually violent and polygamous Anabaptists took over the town of Munster, Germany, the Anabaptist movement lost some of its street cred. Too bad, too. I like these guys' style. But the wimpy Anabaptists regrouped around the Dutch Catholic priest turned fugitive Anabaptist, Menno Simons.
Across the Channel in England, more deep intestinal rumblings were taking place just waiting to be released. The marital bliss of King Henry VIII plunged the country into a religious identity crisis. After several gyrations between Catholicism and Protestantism, a Bloody Mary, and a brilliant archbishop, the Church of England established itself and its staunch liturgical tradition codified in the Book of Common Prayer.
You down with BOCP?
Oh yeah, you know me. Before leaving this century, we have exclusive segments with two of the leading lights of the magisterial Reformation, Martin Luther and Ulrich Zwingli.
Hello, my name is Raphael, and we are here now to interview via eternal satellite one of the most important people in the Reformation era. He did not create the Reformation, but he did light a match for the changes of the 16th century. Welcome, Martin Luther. Are you really the Martin Luther?
I am.
Last millennium, we had an interview with the Emperor Constantine. He had some kind of a vision that changed his life forever. You also had some experience that changed your life. We know you are a German, so we have to ask, were you in your right mind, or did you have too many beers?
May I have time to consider?
After you had the lightning problem, you promised to become a monk. The first abbot you served in had something special, didn't it? Didn't the monks have a brewery where they distilled a popular beer? Was that the main reason you chose that abbot?
I confess. I am but a man and I can err.
Okay, Martin. We know that you were obsessed with your fear that you might have overlooked some sin. Anything else you want to confess now?
I was...
That's okay, Martin. Let's turn now to some of your writings. Pope Leo X was a pope devoted to the pleasures of the flesh. At his dinner parties, he would regularly serve a great cake from which would leap little naked boys. Within 2 years, Leo X had emptied the church's treasury and he was responsible for finishing the great basilica. To get the money, he started to sell indulgences. That's why you wrote The Babylonian Captivity, a sermon on indulgence and grace, and the famous 95 Theses, isn't it?
My work is directed against the foul doctrine and evil living of the popes. Through the laws of the Pope and the doctrines of men, the consciences of the faithful have been miserably vexed and flayed.
One of your main activities was translating the scripture into German. How did that work? Any specific issues?
The language of the Bible should be like a mother talking to her children. Take this verse in St. Luke. It is the Father's will that nothing be lost. In our language, the word will denotes strength, willpower, bending someone to your will. But in the original Greek, this three-letter word denotes passion, fire, inner organs. It can mean beloved, desire, even sexual desire.
Was it easy or tricky to do this?
Tricky. Words are like children. The more care you lavish on them, the more they demand.
Now, that was the truth. You wanted the church to be reformed because you fell in love with Katharina von Bora, wasn't it? Were there any secret lovers before her? Well, sometimes silence speaks louder than words. I don't know if you know, but here in heaven there are some Anabaptists, and you use some harsh words to talk about them. One word you use in your treatise against the Anabaptists in 1528 was the term Schwärmer. Why do you use such harsh language to describe them? Will you recant?
I confess that I've written too harshly. Only let my errors be proven by Scripture. My conscience is captive to the word of God. To go against conscience is neither right nor safe. I cannot, and I will not, recant. Here I stand. I can do no other. God help me.
We forgive you. We want to be in peace with you, brother. Now, we have a quote you said before you died. Let me read it. When I die, I want to be a ghost, so I can continue to pester the bishops, priests, monks, until they have more trouble with a dead Luther than they could have before with 1,000 living ones. You had some issues, Martin, but thanks so much for your lovely interview. Martin Luther. Back to you, Gabriel.
Thank you for that exclusive interview.